Okay, I'm back for part 2, and I apologize with the lighting. It's just too hot to sit outside. And if you hear any noises in the background, that's Abigail playing with her toys. But anyway, part 2. Now, back then I still was very shy, very, very shy. I didn't really come out of my shyness until after Nikki was born and everything that happened. And this chair squeaks. But I didn't have no friends. I didn't know nobody up there, till one day on the side of our duplex, a single mother with her little girl moved in, and her name was Angie. And I finally one day is like, today Cricket's gonna make a friend. So I just went over there. That was very brave of me to do when I knocked on her door, introduced myself. Now, her little girl was about a year older than Alex. So we became good friends. And on our back porch, the way the duplex was, the back porch was all together, except in between the duplexes, he had made a wooden fence, Bill did, the owner. I'll link part 1 at the end of this. But there was a wooden fence. And so, like we had Alex a sandbox. He loved playing in the sandbox, and I'd go sit outside and read or whatever, which I read cookbooks, and Alex played in his sandbox. And Andy's little girl had like a little slide on the back porch. So Bill came over to our duplex and talked to Ricky, and he said, I've noticed that your wife and Angie are passing the babies back and forth over that fence. He said, I don't want to have that. He said, I don't want none of them getting hurt. He said, if you got a saw, if you don't, I got one. He said, you go cut a gate out of that wood. These were brand new duplexes. But he didn't want us passing the babies back and forth, so he told Ricky, he said, you cut some of it off and make a gate where them babies can run and play with each other. And, he had just built these duplexes and told Ricky to do that. So Ricky did, so that way the babies could play. Her little girl could, instead of us passing back and forth, she could play with Alex in the sandbox or, back and forth. So that really helped. But I did start getting stomach issues, which I've always had stomach issues. And when I went to the doctor, the doctor just said, you are just completely homesick and lonely. But anyway, Alex got sick with the croup, and we knew he needed to go to a doctor. Now, we can't take him to his pediatricians back in Georgia. We knew nobody. So, I remember when we were shopping, we took him to the pharmacy, and they said he needs to go to the doctor. And in that little community, there was no hospital or nothing. So, I talked to Angie, and Angie's mother kind of took me in. So her mother just calls me on the phone, because it was very rare we got a phone call, and she said, let me tell you something. She said, Angie told me. She said, listen, I've done got the baby an appointment. She says, you take him right down the street, told me exactly where it was at, and said the doctor's name. I don't want to give his name. But she said, they're expecting you. They're closing up, but I called and told them that the baby needed medical attention. They're waiting on you right now. She said, just walk in. I done gave them the baby's name and your name, and they're waiting on you. So we did. We went over there, and sure enough, they was waiting on us, and he was the doctor in that community, so he could see us all. So, he seen Alex. Alex had the croup. And so, and I had started getting sick, and Ricky did too. So he says, he gave Alex, his medicine, and gave us some medicine, and that became our doctor while we were there. And when you walked out of the doctor's office, you walked to his buddy's office, and that was where you got your medicine filled. So, because one time when I was trying to break Alex from the bottle, Alex got sick again. And Angie's mama called me up to give me instructions, because I couldn't call my mama, And so she said, telling me what to do. He had done been to the doctor, but what to do, and the fluids and everything. And She said, did you break him from the bottle yet? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, give it back to him. Don't you worry about that. He ain't going to go to school drinking no bottle. You give it back to him because he needs all the fluids he can get. And I was just like, yes, ma'am. But I'm very thankful for that because it was like I had somebody whom I could call and talk to. And I would, Angie, some night we'd go over to her house, to her mama's house. And so I had somebody who kind of took me in that I could talk to, like I say, because it was long distance. Now when my cousins or my aunts or my mom, you know, our family would come down to visit, when they'd go to leave, I would cry. My mama, bless her heart, I remember one time she came down, I was crying because she was going to leave a day earlier. And I'm like, please, Mama, take me and Alex with you. Please, I am begging, take me and Alex with you. I can't stand it down here, please. You know, we're just so lonely. It's just, we can't get out. We don't do nothing. Just please. You know, and she's like, Cricket, don't do this to me. And I could imagine that would be hard. Now, if it was me and my children were begging, they'd be in the car with me on the way back. But, you know, when Alex's first birthday came around, I made his cake. I will find some pictures and insert pictures of the cake that I made. But we came back to Georgia. And when we would, you know, we'd spend the night at his parents' house and then stay with my parents. And so it was at Mom's house, and that's where we had his party and everything. And Alex ate so much cake, he got a little tummy ache. But I will insert pictures of his party that we had there. And for Alex's first Christmas, what we did, it was Christmas Eve, and it was how Richard's days off got. So we got up at like 3 in the morning and let Alex see everything that Santa brought him. We loaded him up, and we came down to Georgia and stayed a few days. And then on the way back, our car was packed so full. Somebody had gotten Alex a bumble ball. And it was a ball that, you know, had like little spiky things, and it shook and vibrated. So how it got packed in the car, and it was so packed in that car, you know, because this was Alex's first Christmas. Alex was the first grandbaby on Ricky's side. So it was packed. So halfway home, the way it was packed, hit a bump, and it set the bumble ball off. So for hours we had to hear, and because we tried to pull over, we couldn't find it, couldn't get to it. So whoever got him that bumble ball. But anyway, so then I'd ask, you know, I remember buying a chalkboard, a kind of big size chalkboard, and Alex had gotten this gift that we got him. It was like a little table, but it had mushy stuff in it, like you could make shapes, you could draw letters, and you just did like that, and you erased it, and you started all over again. And I'd ask for educational toys with colors and stuff, and then I had the chalkboard. So at the age of 2, my son could write his name, knew all the letters of the alphabet, knew the colors, knew how to count to 10. You know, he even knew the Greek symbol for pi, and that's what we did. And I was actually told by a teacher to stop doing that, or Alex would be bored in school, which I'm like, that's silly. And I discovered accidentally that my son could kind of read. My mom had started collecting little Disney short movies. It was the Mickey Mouse kind, and Alex would bring me the tape he would want to watch. Well, one day I said, you want to watch so-and-so? And he actually went and got it. So I remember I took all the VHS tapes out of their case, set the tapes on one side and the cases on the other. And I didn't say, I says, look right here. Now go put this in the correct case. And he would. And so even Angie was like, can you teach my daughter to do that? She don't even know, you know, her alphabet. And I was just like, just start, you know, just working with her and stuff. And actually when we moved back was around Alex was 2, a little shortly after that. And my cousins and I would bring their friends over for Alex to put on his show. of how he could write his name and, you know, all this, you know, and what's this symbol and what's your shapes, or what's your shapes, you know, what's this color, and let's say this, and, you know, and watch him write his name. So, and I'll get on to that, how Alex's education was furthered kind of along because of all of that. But that was just out of boredom, you know, too. With me, it was just me and Alex a lot of the time. And so, and we kept the video camera, I did, on him pretty much at all times. And I know Alex talked a little late because I wouldn't allow him to talk. I was told that I give him what he wanted before he would ask for it. Now, Alex would throw little temper tantrums, and he loved his walker. He loved being in his walker. And Alex did not walk till he was 14 months old. And the child was so big and so heavy that my cousin's like, if you have hip problems when you get older, I'm going to know why. And, you know, and people at Ricky's work would be like, put that baby down. No wonder he won't walk, because I held him. He was my son. He was mama's boy. And where he wasn't raised around a lot of people, you know, the first couple of years in his life, he didn't really like nobody. He just wanted me. And so what made him get used to people is when with Nikki, and that happened after Nikki, and he had to learn to get used to people. But it was an adventure. And so when he finally did start walking and working with him, Ricky knew that he was starting to walk in the toddle, but Ricky didn't know he could turn corners. And so one morning, you know, Ricky went to the back bedroom, and I wasn't going to say nothing. I had the camera on, and I saw Alex get up. Hey, let's go see where Daddy went. And he toddled, and he went back there. Well, it scared Richard, because he turned around, and there was Alex, so he screamed. Well, then Alex screamed and started crying and came running back, and Richard's like, when did he learn to turn corners? You know, so Ricky really missed a lot of that time with Alex too. So we, you know, have it on videotape. But I'm going to end this right here because it's probably a little long, and add a little bit more footage. And I'll come back with the next part, hopefully the next weekend. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy this, and y'all said y'all have enjoyed me telling stories, please let me know, and I'll continue. Thanks, everyone.
Christmas, Christmas Day. Kid boy. Wahoo, Dory. Wahoo, wahoo. You want a little bit of this, huh? Welcome Christmas, Christmas.